A very good morning to all of you. Welcome to today's news analysis. We are doing the Indian Express papers Chandigarh edition, and today is 29th of December 2023. As always, I have shared handwritten notes containing facts plus topics that we are covering on the Telegram. So this is for your revision. Some of you had asked for it, so I'm posting it regularly. Okay. Now today's newspaper starts with the international section, and there is a mention of the proposed Red Sea Task Force, a proposal given by the US. So the context is simple. This is the Red Sea. This is connected with the Mediterranean Sea via the Suez Canal. So it is an important trade artery, and it is under attack by the Yemen-based Houthi militant groups. Right. So of course trade is hampered because of this, and thereby some naval support is required. So US has proposed Red Sea Task Force with the help of its allies. But the allies are skeptical. Only 12 of 20 countries willing to join. Its close allies like Italy, France, Spain are not convinced. They say, why should we utilize our resources? Or they are saying, why should we work under the command of the US? So that's the basic reason. Moving to the next article, US maintains Cold War mindset, says China's Defense Ministry spokesperson. So, this statement is the topic of discussion, and it's basically indicating that all is not well between China and US. This is despite the series of initiatives that has taken place at the top leadership level. If you remember the APEC meeting that took place, APEC summit, in which President Biden and Xi Jinping had a talk, and they said that some sort of a common framework should be there so that the ties are eased. Plus, military to military level talks should also be there. They should be resumed. But of course, it's a big issue, right? It will take time to ease. So that is happening. Now, another statement that has come from Chinese side, it is saying that Asia Pacific region should be on high alert because the US is deploying forward positions. So US has obviously we know they have the policy of pivot to Asia and encircling China, so that we know. So US has now recently made a decision that there was this site which was used to bomb Japan during the Second World War. So the US plans to reuse that site. Next, we come to the front page and we hear about the ex Indian Navy men who were charged with death penalty. So, Qatar court, the Court of Appeals actually, it has dropped the death penalty for 8 Indians. So, that death penalty has been dropped, but what punishment would be given, etc., that is not stated. Plus, what was the rationale given, that was also not stated. There is a lot of ambiguity, there is a lot of lack of clarity actually in this case. Now, this happens in the context of it starts with the COP28 meeting, where the Qatar leader, Emir of Qatar, and Prime Minister Modi had met, and somehow the things have worked out. That is what the article is indicative. Okay. Then we hear about the Satluj Yamuna link. Now, as far as you are concerned, the interstate river water dispute, right? What is the arrangement for that? Why are we having the interstate river water dispute? Should water come under, should what the subject of water be moved from state subject uh, to concurrent subject? So these are the topics that you should be thinking about. Of course, nothing was going to actually take place. The standoff will continue. That was expected on this issue. Now the next news should be with the editorials mainly. Parking problem, charging infrastructure. So those issues are there, urban issues which are there in the news. Okay, there is a mention of Lily Thomas case with regards to disqualification of MPs. Okay. So some MLA is there um, from Aam Aadmi Party who has been given punishment 2 year jail term. And if a person is given 2 year jail term, according to the Lily Thomas versus Union of India case, along with Lok Prahar versus Union of India, then in that case, MLA and MP is disqualified. Right? This happened with Rahul Gandhi also. Okay, so that thing is there. So Lily Thomas case is there and Lok Prahar. Now this can also be asked in prelims. Now coming to the mains, of course, the issue of disqualification, decriminalization of politics, plus role of judiciary in electoral reforms, right? These are things that you should consider while preparing. SC Collegium recommends names of for appointment of Chief Justice for so and so. Okay. And of course, Collegium includes the Supreme Court, Chief Justice of India, plus 4 senior most judges. Next article is with regards to the J&K civilian deaths. And this article is basically focusing on what has been the government's focus. So government focus comes after the torture video, the custodial killing that took place. And so the basic thing is that the people who have been affected is the Gurjar Bakarwal community, which has been pro India, right, pro army. So that has been the case. They have always supported us, but since it has been affected, so a lack of confidence, lack of trust would be there. So those issues are there. The CEOs, commanding officers have been shifted, right, and that's it actually. Ministry of Home Affairs has taken that some visible action should take place. Okay, so that's it. From exam point of view, of course, custodial deaths, but since it is Jammu and Kashmir, AFSPA should be the focus. The issues concerning AFSPA. And the second issue is that of the how to have sustained peace or normalization in Jammu and Kashmir. Points I have shared repeatedly. You can refer to the Telegram also, the handwritten notes that I'm sharing. So from there you can get it. Healing touch and all those things, Jamhuriyat, Kashmiriyat, Insaniyat, all these points I have mentioned. Now we come to the editorial opinion section. So yes, so the first article that we have, and actually I'm just focusing here only, it's about India-Russia relationship. Why are we talking about it? Because the external affairs minister is in Russia. And now President Putin invites Prime Minister Modi, so all that is taking place. So this editorial mainly concerns with the nature of relationship between India and Russia. Now, of course, you can read anywhere about this. But some key takeaways are mentioned over here, right? And a brief build-up is mentioned here. So let's cover this, and then this is a very important element, thematic element, which can be asked in a theme for the mains paper. So let's do the first one. So first we hear that annual summits are not taking place, right? But that does not mean, Mr. Jaishankar says, that does not mean the relations are withered. They're hampered. He says that bilateral trade is increasing. So from 12 billion, it has increased to 50 billion in 1 year. But that is in the context of the massive oil imports. Right. And India supported the Russia in with regards to the Ukraine war. Despite all the pressure and all those things, India's had the defense over there with Russia. Now coming to the nature of relationship, the shift that is taking place. Now India-Russia relationship, a major shift can be seen over here. And this is, we can take the 1991 year as a reference point. Now India is no longer a differential junior partner. Earlier, India was Russia. We needed the help of Russia for defense equipment, technology, plus 1971 war. Right, Russia provided us the help. Now the things have changed. India and Russia, when they negotiate, when they deal with each other, they it is on the terms of equality. India is no longer a junior partner. Why? One, India's GDP is much more than Russia's, right? So that has increased over the years since 1991. Then the traditional military dependence on Russia has come down. The dependence have come down. And now we are diversifying and with US and other countries. Likewise for technology also. So, so India is reconstituting its relationship as an equal. So one theme that is mentioned over here, which you should consider is, of course, India-Russia relationship, those points are there, but seeking the change in the nature where India is no longer a differential junior. It's now on the basis of equality. The second issue is India and Russia are on, even though they are allies, they are on the opposite sides of the world's main geopolitical fault line today. So the main fault line. We're not really talking about Ukraine, Russia also. Again, Ukraine, Russia also. So Russia is on the one side, the Ukraine is on the west side, right? So that angle is there. But another issue is since the Ukraine war that has taken place, imagine this is the map Russia, a map of Asia, Russia, China, and then India. China and Russia's relationship has intensified. Whereas over the same period, China's relationship with other countries, more or less the West, US, etc., has come down. And somewhere this too have come very, very close because of this. Very intimate relationship is there. And this is complicated because I mean, I'm digressing now because China and Russia are in competition to become the superpower again. They both have their aspirations. But we are the opposite sides of the world's main geopolitical front line today. This main is actually in context of China. So between Washington and Beijing. Yeah, this article that you were seeing on the right side, an AI for the people, reading it. I think we don't have to spend our high energy on this. The simple reason this is basically a sum up of what is happening with the AI in the last 1 year. So we can just take the theme that socialization of AI policy and democratization, right? That is required. So you may actually refer to the global partnership on artificial intelligence, key takeaways. That is also good enough. I have not done it today, maybe some other time. Yes. Reimagine the counter strike. So this is with in context of the Jammu and Kashmir, and basically it says the two key takeaways that one bad that takes place. For instance, this JNK custodial deaths that have taken place. Video is also there of the alleged video of torture taking place at the hands of security forces. So that is one. It should not take place. It lacks. It affects the trust. All the goodwill that you are trying to do over the years, it gets washed away with one bad news. The other thing that is the authors mentions is that because of emphasis on security arrangements, right? Emphasis on, let's say, Kashmir also, Jammu and Kashmir is right. Multiple regions are there, so it has led to lack of development in other areas. Too much focus on Kashmir, but Rajouri and Poonch as a result has been sidelined. And I would like to add one more dimension to this. The union says that bulk of the money is going to the JNK. A lot of grants are going to the JNK, but then that is being used for security related aspects. So the developmental side is affected. Right. So that's another thing. We have the first woman to head CISF, important development, Neena Singh. Right. So she'll be the first woman, I presume DGP. Now we come to the economy section. Oil is at $80 per barrel. You can see the way it is moving, right? 76. Earlier it was 83, then it became 76, 74, and then again it is back to $80 per barrel. And the union government had back then clarified that till the time it is not sustainably below the $80 per barrel, we are not going to cut oil prices. Moving to the next one. Okay, we have something with regards to Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Binance and 8 other offshore crypto firms get notice. I just know that Binance is the mother company of TikTok. They had approached for making educational content for TikTok. Okay, next. The RBI Governor Das, with regards to, of course, what is happening in RBI, he says economy is resilient. RBI to act decisively to prevent risk buildup. So all is not well. If the statement comes like this, and we have covered this yesterday also. Yesterday we heard NPA is down by 3.2%, which is not significant actually. Next, if he says risk buildup means stressed assets. Stressed assets are NPA. We defined it yesterday. NPA plus write-offs that are taking place. Right. NPA, write-offs, and restructured loans, which are restructured loans are the ones that are likely to be an NPA. So this is at $160 billion. This is at a high, right? So stressed assets means more likelihood of higher NPAs as well. By the way, NPA figure is somewhere at 7.5% of total assets for the banking sector. Uh, Besides this, unsecured loans. Of course, unsecured loans are likely to become NPA because these are loans without collateral. So this is at 28.5%. This is more than double of what was there in the previous years. I think it was 11%, so it has more than double of that. So these are certain risks and which needs to be mitigated. For this, we have one measure that they took RBI, that is they adjusted capital to risk weighted asset ratio. Basically, if you have more risk, so the cost of getting capital will increase. Next, we have a clarification from the IT and Communications Minister Ashwini Vaishnav on the Telecom Act. So there are basically two things that he clarifies. That one is that with regards to Telecom Act, uh, the government does not seek to break encryption. Does not give government power to break encryption. That is one thing with regards to encryption. The second thing is, or we can also say that WhatsApp, etc., these companies which messaging mediums that we have, so government cannot compel them to take information. They say that since these companies themselves do not know because of end-to-end encryption, how can we seek information from them? I doubt that. Next is the definition of telecom. So the critics say that the definition of telecom is very vague. It's very vague, thereby the ambit of this act can be extended to a much larger this thing. Okay. So here he says that telecom definition is taken from the term definition of telegram, which means transportation of information from one place to another. Simple. Right. So this means anything, even in any medium that you are using. He says confusion arises when we use transport of message, let's say through an application like WhatsApp. And that is when the confusion arises. So the clarification has come that when it comes to carriage of data, movement of data, that comes under telecom. And when we look at the usage of WhatsApp and all these applications, then it comes under Ministry of IT so it comes under the Ministry of IT. So that's it actually. So CERT and all those, they will look. So Amazon also, so Ministry of IT and Electronics. So that's it from today's news analysis.